Hi guys! So I just recently finished my 2020 planner. That is the planner that I use for everything planning and journal related, and I just wanted to do a flip through of it with you. So this is a Leuchtturm B6 Plus monthly planner, and I bought it at PlannerCon Europe 2019, and they offered the option of getting it embossed. So I have this decal on it, which I think sums everything up, and also a coffee wood chip sticker, which I bought from Michael's in a trip to the US. And then, as you can see here, this is a taste of what is to come, because everything is totally stickerated and colorful and lots of fun, which for me kind of encapsulates my feelings towards planning and the whole planner hobby experience. This is the wristband that they gave us at PlannerCon 2019, and so I put that on the bookmarks. Then I have some jelly and some vellum. Everything in here in terms of jelly and vellum comes from HR Handmade, which is a UK-based Etsy shop, and I'll leave it linked down below. She has some really great vellums. And so I just put a title and name page on it, and then I just put all kinds of Happy Planner themed stickers on here. And my goal for this planner was basically just to have a one-stop shop for everything related to my planner hobby. So as you see when we go through, it's very planner themed, so I used a lot of planner related stickers. I think a lot of these are from the Pastel Rainbows and the Pastel Mega Book sticker books from the Happy Planner. Here is some more jelly and vellum, which I cut down. So this was originally A5 size because I couldn't get it in the size that's right for this planner, which is just a little tiny bit bigger than the standard A6. And then something that I started doing this year was keeping cards and leaflets that I got from orders so that I could just be reminded of them, because I would usually just put these in recycling, but I thought it's actually kind of a nice way to commemorate what I ordered over the year. So then we have the yearly calendars, and I just put stickers on this previous one. So I started this in the end of 2019, and I just decorated that, and then I used this for marking when I replace the ink in my fountain pen, which is something that I do with the yearly spreads in most of my planners. Then we have a vertical monthly layout. It's like a year on 4 pages, and I use this for marking off when I actually made a video, as opposed to all of my grand plans for making videos that didn't materialize. At some point I started using it to track orders as well, but then I decided not to do that anymore because I just wanted to be able to see when I'd made videos so that I could judge how many videos I make in a month. And so at some point in the summer I stopped doing that, and I just started recording videos that I actually made. And then these are just blank because they're for 2021, and I have switched over to my new planner. Okay, then we go into the beginning of the monthly spreads, and I just cut out a spread from the Happy Planner Amy Tangerine collab desk calendar that I had, and I just liked this one. And it was really just kind of a way of remembering that desk calendar, which made me very happy when I was using it. Then we have our monthly spreads. So I would just decorate this a little bit with planner themed supplies and happy stickers, and mark any relevant dates, basically videos, when a planner related order was coming. For a while I was doing some tracking, so I was checking all through last year to see when they would announce the dates for PlannerCon Europe 2020, which sadly never came to be. And if I had scheduled a video, when it was going live, mostly just when orders are coming. If there was a launch like the Hobonichi Spring launch, I marked here. Ooh, I get to mark that off at the end of January for 2021. That's exciting, something to look forward to. If I had an order arriving, more reveals, videos. So there's not a huge amount of stuff in these monthly spreads, but I really like having them because it means that I've got a pre-dated section where I can just write down things that are happening. So around the beginning of lockdown, I had a terrible backlog of orders that, you know, couldn't be delivered because of staff shortages and everything. And so I was kind of trying to figure out what had happened to a couple of orders that got lost. And so I kept writing down when I should phone Royal Mail. This is now like kind of right in the middle of lockdown. So I was tracking mostly videos, but also when I ordered stuff and when things were going to arrive. And I've found this to be really helpful to have because it just lets me easily keep track of everything that has to do with planners. So like I said, this is purely planner related, and so I don't note down anything like videos to make or orders that I'm waiting for in my personal planner, because that is for everything to do with my life that's not related to my planner hobby. I just really like having everything planner related in here, even though it's not strictly necessary. I could track all of this stuff, and I did used to track all of this stuff in my personal planner, but I really enjoy having it all in the planner. And that's basically because everything to do with planning is for fun for me. It's my hobby, and so it's not urgent, right? So it doesn't bother me if I put these to-dos like making videos or phoning the post office in a separate planner, because it's not like if I forget to do it on a specific day, anything terrible will happen. I like to come and look at this book, and so having all of my plans in it just makes me feel really happy. So for August, I used the monthlies mostly to record the theme for each day of the Hobonichi September lineup reveal, because that for me is a big highlight of the year. I love the August previews that they've been doing over the past few years, and so I liked having a shortcut to see what was happening each day so that I could look at it even if I wasn't connected to the internet. I thought that's a perfect thing to mark in my planner. So that was August. And then for September, it was mostly back to videos and when orders were arriving. And then we have pretty much the same thing for the rest of the year. And this was the last month that I was in this planner before I finished it. So this is a year-long monthly planner, but it gives you a few extra months at the beginning and end. So it actually starts in November of the previous year and it continues on until February of the following year. And I liked this because I moved into this early, really as soon as I could. I moved into it at the end of October 2019. So it was great that I already had the spread for November, and because it's only a monthly planner, as soon as you've got the monthly spreads, you don't need to worry about anything else. You don't have to wait for weeklies to start as you do in, like, say, some of the planners will give you an extra like monthly spread, but the weeklies don't start, or the other way around. And anyway, so I really like the fact that I could just move into this immediately. And then I did a little bit of forward planning here. So I just decorated January and wrote one plan in here because I want to do a plan with me in my take a note planner. And I wrote that in while I was still in this, and then I noted it down again in the new one. And then I just left that blank because I'm not using it. Then we get to an index. So this is like the contents page for the notes pages, because this planner consists of your year's worth or like 15 months worth of monthly spreads, and then the rest of it is dot grid note pages, which is perfect, 138 pages, and it actually worked out just great for a year. It means that you can write about a page every other day, roughly. So I left this blank until the very end of the year, and then I filled it in as soon as I was done with it. This was like the last thing I did with this planner, so that I could then go back and check afterwards if I wanted to. I mean, really, I'll probably just flip through it, but sometimes I made lists of things that I'd like to be able to reference, and so that's what I put in here. So my rule is that every page has to have a little bit of decoration on it, so even if it's only lightly stickerated, I just put in a few small stickers on here to make it happy. And then what I've put in here is more mementos from planner orders, basically. So this was a note from the founder of Notique that came with my Notique order, and I thought that was really cool, and it was handwritten, so I wanted to keep that. Then I have the little information leaflet from a Paper Blanks dot grid planner that I ordered, and I just thought that it's nice to keep these, again, because it's everything to do with planners. And if I get an information sheet or, you know, the little kind of card that comes with an order, then I thought if I just stick them all in here and I washi them in, I'll have them all in one place, and I can just flip through and see, like, for example, this was the Ochitsuke design from Hobonichi, which I ordered this year or last year, I guess. So Lauren Phelps Designs, yeah, and London Gifties. And then this was a note from Choose to Do when I ordered one of their planners, and I just thought it's a really nice way to keep them so that when I'm flipping through I can see what I ordered. And here is some more jelly and vellum, again cut down from A5 size. Then we start with the note pages, and I started off with an order spread. So these were orders that I made between October 2019 and February 2020, all planner orders, and here are some more, lots of planner orders obviously. Then I used some pages for questions about things like what to do with the softbound EC Life Planner, which I ordered at the beginning of last year, or actually, sorry, no, that was in October 2019, because I knew that I really wanted to try it and I was trying to decide on what to do with it. More orders, I know, staggering amounts of orders. A lot of them are sticker books or charms, because I spent quite a bit of time working out the perfect planner themed charms to put in my planner, and they are now gracing my new planner, which, just to show you, looks like this. So it's exactly the same. It's a Leuchtturm B6 Plus monthly planner, just in a different color, but this is a formula that really works for me, and so I think I'm going to keep using this planner every year. I love the dot grid. I love how it just has a monthly, which is perfect for me to use as a planner. Then I have a planner lineup from October 2019, and I really like doing my planner lineup spreads in here, because later I can look back and see what's different, what's the same. Then I have some notes about what to do with the undated notebooks that I have. Some of them are started and some of them are not started, ways to use them all, lists of current started undated notebooks and current started, yeah, the ones that I've written in, the ones I haven't written in, a Planner Babe order from Happy Planner. I ordered a mini Planner Babe vertical Happy Planner, and I was writing about things that I could do with it, things to do with my extra planners that I am currently not using, try to get them out of the graveyard, or as Nija says, the planner unemployment line. This was when the new hardbound Happy Planners came out for 2020, and I was so excited about these, and I ended up ordering 3 of them and using 1.5 of them. One I used pretty much all year, the Pastel Dreams one, which is my favorite. This one I gave to James to use as a wellness planner, and that kind of never really got off the ground. He's now using Hobo Weeks, which seems to be working much better. And then the Year to Shine I didn't find a use for, and I ended up keeping it, and so it's on my shelf in the planner unemployment line or graveyard, and I'm thinking that I will use it at some point in the future. Either I'll replace the dates or I'll use it when those dates come round again, you know, like when you get a year that the dates are on the same days as the other year. I think that's kind of a cool thing to do. Be like a blast from the past. So possible things I could do with them. This was before I ordered any of them. More ideas to do with them. What to do with the softbound EC. So often I just like to use this as a journal basically, but I journal about things that are planner related. So every page I would set up by putting some stickers on, some for a heading for what that page is about, and then some decorative stickers. And then I would set up a few days in advance so that I would just be able to write. So I didn't really have a set formula for how often I would write in this, because it's undated, this part of it. I could basically just write whenever the mood struck me. So if I had a thought about a planner, like this was my January 2020 prospective planner lineup. So I wrote down all of the things I was considering doing for 2020, planners, journals, which planners to stickerate as opposed to planners that I just write pen and paper. New ideas for what to do with an A5 5-year techo, which I was thinking about ordering. So this is basically just my planner brainstorming and journaling happy place, and I had no strict formula. It could be just a list, it could be long form journaling. So here I was thinking about what to do with the Amy Tangerine Art Journal of 2020 A5 planner, which I ended up using as a pretty planner, and I'll do a flip through of that as well because it's completed now. This was just some more journaling, just up for fun. Like, I don't do this very often, but sometimes I just felt like writing a whole page worth of thoughts, what to do with my planners, like various planners that I was thinking about ordering, and I wasn't sure if I'd have a use for them. Again, planning is my hobby. This is what I do for fun. This is what I spend most of my free money on. So yeah. What to do with the Year to Shine bound happy planner. I'm really sad that they didn't bring out another set of the bound happy planners this year, by the way. I guess they must not have been very popular, but I liked them. planners to take with me on a trip we were going to take to Wales. What to do with B6 TN covers, because I had 3 which I had ordered for various things. Actually, I'd ordered them all for this planner, thinking it was like standard B6 size, and then it turns out it's a little bit higher than the like normal B6 measurements, and so none of the covers fit. And so then I was like, well, what do I do with them? And obviously, being a planner addict, in the end I decided to buy a Stalogy, a B6 Stalogy, so that I could use one. But it worked out. Sometimes, you know, ridiculous planner addict decisions actually lead to some benefits, because I ended up using the Stalogy as a daily planner, and I've been using that for a year now, and so it was pretty cool. Stuff to track in the softbound EC, which I actually ended up using as a memory keeper, and I'll show you that in another video as well, because I've now completed that. So that was a complete surprise. That wasn't what I was expecting. This is an inventory of all my A6 covers, mostly from Hobonichi. YouTube video ideas, more musings about what to do with my various orders, that like the Amy Tangerine Happy Planner, the EC Planner, bound planner. As you know, I'm a sucker for bound planners. What to do with the mini Happy Planner, because I was using it as a health tracker and then I stopped. More orders. I think this was already, I didn't date all of these. I kind of regret that I didn't always date everything. I think this was already into March at this point. Happy Planner, sorry, Amy Tangerine Planner Spread theme ideas, because this ended up being my pretty planner and I was decorating each week with a theme. Some musings about my pretty planners, which planners do I sticker rate basically. And Spring 2020 Happy Planner release items to order. So even now looking through this is just like really nice to me. It's really happy seeing all of these planner musings, and it kind of is, I guess, in a way, it functions as a planner memory keeper now. I had a weeks dilemma at this point. I had some kind of crisis about what to do with my weeks. I wasn't really happy with my weeks. Thoughts about an EC monthly petite planner. I got into ordering EC stuff right around May, before the whole graduation incident happened. So I ordered a lot of EC stuff right before that. And then I was musing about things to do with it. What to do with my weeks, because I was trying to like rejig my weeks. And so this is like more thoughts about all of that stuff. A wish list. So my attempt to stop ordering so much stuff basically was to write a wish list and then leave it there and see how long it would stay on the wish list, with me either still thinking about it, unable to forget about it, or finally forgetting about it. So there's some things here that I have managed to forget about, like these 2 pens. This is like a Rainbetical fountain pen and it looks beautiful, but I was just like, no, I don't need any more pens and it's really expensive, so I just left it on the wish list. Same for this one. But then, as you see, the Take a Note planner I did end up buying, and the Swallows Weeks as well, because I could just not get it out of my mind. Then I was planning a Jewish home planner. I was thinking about doing that with the EC softbound planner, and I ended up using it in a completely different way, as I mentioned. Potential 2021 planner and journal lineup, which is funny to me to look at now, because I think I wrote this around like probably May or June. So I was musing then about what to do with it, and it ended up looking quite different, although many of them are still the same. Planners to keep in 2020. So I've ended up with like quite a few planners that I have kind of lived with all through the year, that are bound planners and are, you know, really beautiful and decorated, and so obviously those I was going to keep. And I was trying to decide which of them I would keep and which of them I wasn't really sure if I wanted to keep or not. So I think I ended up keeping most of these. My cousin, my weeks, the Happy Planner, the hardbound, I ended up not keeping. I just decided that it didn't make the cut. The EC Memory Keeper I did keep. I'm really proud of that, the way it turned out, and I'll show you that in another video. That and the Amy Tangerine, I think I'll show you together. And then the English Hobo, the Amy Tangerine, and the 5-year Tetras, obviously. So I ended up keeping all of these except for the Happy Planner hardbound. And fortunately, 3 of them are 5-year Tetras, which means that it's not like I'm adding them to my archive shelf, which is rapidly growing. It's just that, you know, I carry them over for another year. Planners that needed replacing instead of buying new EC planners. So there were like 2 EC planners that I decided to replace with something else when they ran out. So it's kind of like basically like a diary or journal, I guess, of my year-end planners. Planner companies I like. Those were my top ones. some journaling about the Erin Conran situation after the graduation incident. So I'm glad when I could be bothered to date these, because then I could see what I was thinking when. This is all more about the Erin Conran situation. What to do about James's Filofax. James was setting up a Filofax, and this was a list of things that he could include in it. More planners I'm thinking of using in 2021. This was when Amy Tangerine announced that she was going to be doing another collab planner with Archer and Olive, and I was super excited about that, and so I just journaled a bit about it. This was the possibility of using a Paper Blanks Maxi as a daily planner instead of a week's, or as a personal planner, I meant. These are Paper Blanks dimensions, so I wrote down what all of their dimensions are compared to, like, you know, standard A5, B5, B6, etc., because they use slightly different labels. And new possible 2021 planners and journals. So a lot of times I just couldn't be bothered to write the dates in, and I really regret that now. So I've decided going forward for my new planner that I'm always going to write the dates in so that I can see, you know, what I am doing, what I did when, so that it can be a record afterwards. It's none of this is like important in the larger sense of the word, but for me it's just fun to be able to go back afterwards and see what I was thinking about planners. Possible uses for weeks as a tracker. My pretty planners for 2021, what I'm thinking about keeping and using as a pretty planner. Now, in August, this is when the Hobonichi 2021 preview started, and so every day I was noting down what they revealed, what was happening, what I thought about what they revealed. And I also put in some stickers here. If I ever had an order that came with a sticker, like sometimes they come with a freebie or there's a sticker that they use to wrap the package, I would put it in here, and that would just be another nice memento of my planner journey. So this is all about the Hobonichi preview. Thoughts about the Hobo decisions that I have to, what I want, what I'm definitely going to order. This was all more Hobo order thoughts. So it's just great having this empty paper that, you know, just dot grid. I love dot grid. It's just really nice having it here so that I can write whatever I want about planners, and it makes me feel more free to write about my planner experiences because I know that I've got space to do it. Whereas when I was just keeping track of my planner orders and video ideas in my personal planner, I didn't have enough space to write all of this, and it wasn't like specifically dedicated to planners. So I just really like having this place that I know is all for planners, and I guess I see it as a sort of form of therapy, because if I just, you know, kind of feel like musing about planners, this is the place to do it. So here I wrote some notes for my video about the Moleskine Expanded, just things to remember. This was my actual Hobonichi order. This was more notes on a video about my core planning system, new 2021 planners that I was intending to have at that time. So I think most of these I have ended up using. So Paper Blanks Ultra Horizontal for the J-Hub, yes. Hobonichi English Planner, yes. Hobonichi Week Swallows for personal planner. Well, that didn't quite go according to plan, because instead I've got the Embrace the Constellations, but I'm now actually waiting for an order of the Swallows to use as a dirty planner. And then obviously the Leuchtturm B6 Plus monthly for my planner, which is this guy. So this was notes about a Rosh Hashanah spread, a Jewish New Year spread that I made in the Amy Tangerine planner. Criteria for purchase of new notebooks. So this is the sort of thing I might want to refer back to later. So they have to have dot grid, relatively thin paper, phantom pen friendly paper. I realize that these are all things that I like and that I want in a notebook. So this will kind of help me rule out or narrow down notebooks to buy if I know that I have to follow these rules, basically. And then I made a list of brands of notebooks that are on my potential to buy list in accordance with the criteria. List of current planners and journals as of September. Some stickers that I wanted to order. A list of potential 2021 planners. As you can see, I redid this list quite a few times, and that is part of the fun of this book, is that I just have enough space to make lists of all of my current and potential planners. Things that I could track in the planned James and Lily Fun Hub, which I did end up initiating at the beginning of 2020. Thoughts about weeks. Oh, I ordered a Moon Phases Blackout Journal from Marcher and Olive, and this was another time when I broke my rule of not buying any notebooks unless I had a use for them, because I was just really curious about it. And so I bought it, and then I brainstormed what to do with it here and here, and then I decided what to do with it. I'm using it as Sabbath and Jewish festivals planner, which is really fun. More YouTube ideas, wish lists, notes for a video. This was the info page on the Hobonichi English planner, which I put in here. Possible planners to put full page week away design stickers in. So really just anything that I could just keep in my head, but I like to write it down since I have got this planner specifically for that. Some thoughts about the decorative planners and journals that I'm currently using, and I was feeling that it was a bit too much to keep up with, so I just wrote some notes about that. This is usually something that I'll do in the evening as kind of like a wind down activity. I think of it as a form of journaling. It's just specifically journaling about planners. At one point I was thinking about switching my planner to a notebook. So I was thinking if there was a B6 Plus Leuchtturm notebook without the monthly spreads, maybe I could just use that and, you know, kind of write in it until it ran out and not have the pressure of having any dates, because I was getting a bit stressed about managing to fill this up by the end of the year. As you can see, this was October and I had a whole bunch of blank pages. So I started thinking that maybe I wouldn't be able to fill it up and that I should switch to something completely undated, but I decided in the end that I really liked having the dates in here so that I could plan out things like videos and, you know, track when orders are on the way and things like launches and other stuff that it's convenient having dates for. And I don't like drawing out my own date spreads, so I ruled that out. And in the end, I decided that actually if I use these pages more efficiently and work out week by week how many pages I want to fill, that I can keep on top of it in a manageable way. And that's what I did. And I ended up using this quite a lot over the break, just at the end of December, and using a lot of pages because I really, really wanted to finish it before the beginning of January. And I did. So I'm very pleased with myself about that. Then there were some more thoughts about getting a Swallows week. So I was trying to work out if there was any possible way that I could incorporate one into my lineup. Then I made a list of all different planners that I've been using in different categories. Daily planners, this is like my daily planner and journal routine. Not all of these are in use every day though. These are just the ones that could be used every day. So like the Fat Hobo, which I decorate, I try to keep up with that every day. This is my 2 core planning system. Then planners that are used on a kind of weekly basis or monthly basis, and then undated and completely as and when planners and journals. So just some more musings. Notes about my completed 2020 planners and journals. This is when I really kind of started stepping it up around the end of November, because I realized that I had to get through a whole bunch of pages if I was going to have any chance of finishing this. So I started putting in some more decor in, and I think it looks nice. I'm pleased with how it turned out. Planners and journals I might take time off of, that I was feeling it was a bit too much. Because again, like if planning is your hobby, then you kind of have 2 different types of planners. You have super functional planners that you just use to, you know, keep yourself on track and remember appointments and get work done. And then you also have your fun planners like this. And I felt like some of my fun planners might be too much and I just couldn't keep on top of them. And it sort of sorted itself out because a couple of them finished at the end of the year. I completed them. And then I didn't have to worry about them, and it took some of the pressure off, because with bound books, I feel like once I've started a bound book that I've committed, and I really like to see it through until the end. So I try to be kind of careful about not taking on too much, but you know, as a planner addict, it's always kind of a fine balance between taking on too much and wishing you had some more planners to play with. So I think it's always a bit like that. It's always a balancing act. I bought an A4 Plus Leuchtturm as a memory planner, and then I realized that it was just too big and overwhelming and I couldn't deal with it, and so that is currently in the graveyard. I gave it to James, but he was going to use it as a like sketch a day book, but he hasn't been using it so far, so I'm trying to decide what to do with that. This was all about the take a note planner, musings about that when I ordered it, what to do with it, which is really fun. I actually enjoy this. This is, like I said, for me it's a kind of way of winding down. It's like a sort of therapeutic session where I just think about things that I know are not really important. They're not life or death. They kind of distract me from like actual dilemmas and problems that I have in life, and they just let me focus my mind on something that I know isn't really that, you know, crucial in the scheme of things, and I enjoy it. It's like a fun, it's almost like doing a crossword puzzle, or, you know, it's just like a satisfying way of keeping the brain occupied without actually worrying about, I guess, serious things. That's how I think of it. So all of these like planner dilemmas and my planner musings and things, I just enjoy it. And because I have an anxiety disorder, it really helps me just to focus on this instead of worrying about things, basically. When to start setting up my new planners. This was thoughts about doing functional plan with me's in the Take a Note planner, which I've decided is how I'm going to use it. These are undecorated planners and journals that I'm going to use in 2021. So these are all of the planners that are just pen and paper. My cousin, my B6 Salogy, my A6 English Hobo, which is my journal, my A6 5-year Techo, which I record daily events and highlights in, one of my A5 5-year Techos, which I record accomplishments and positivity in. I was using an EC notebook for a daily planner for a while, and it's just like basically lists, like, you know, just one big long to-do list. And the Let's Plan Forever, which I use for recording, you know, sort of daily historical events, but not on a daily basis, just whenever I remember it. And then these are new undecorated planners that I'm going to be bringing into the lineup. There were some thoughts on like my focus for my 2021 planners. Notes about starting the new A5 Leuchtturm memory keeper, which I have just recently done. That was super exciting. My thoughts about how to use my new paper blanks planners, because I have 2 of those and I've started using them. I talked about that in my last video, the 2021 setup. Planners that I'm not going forward with, or I'm not renewing, I'm not replacing in 2021. So the hardbound happy planner, which is not being made anymore, and I replaced it with the Paper Blanks Ultra Constellations, and then the softbound EC I am replacing with an A5 Leuchtturm horizontal as a memory keeper. So yeah, all kinds of notes about just everything that's on my mind. I have an Inkwell Press daily planner from 2018, which I have used rather inconsistently over the last couple of years as a daily planner, and I was thinking about whether I can do anything with it. I've sometimes used it as a daily planner for James, and sometimes as a daily planner for myself. I was thinking maybe I could use it because I'd sort of like to finish it, but because it's undated, except that it says 2018 on the front, I can just keep it on the shelf until a use becomes apparent for it. This is some long form journaling about having multiple weeks, because I had told myself at one point that I was banned from having 2 of the same planner. So like I couldn't have, like, say 2 weeks or 2 A6 original Hobonichis, for example, because often I feel like, I don't know, somehow in my like weird planner brain they compete with each other, and I like just having different planners for different purposes. But I do have some exceptions to that. So I have 2 A5 5-year Techos, and the way that I get around that is that one of them is completely undecorated, it's just pen and paper, and the other one is like decorated to the max, it's totally stickerated, the Fat Hobo. And they seem so different and they serve such different purposes that I think it's okay. And so I decided that I'm going to use my Swallow Weeks, which is on the way, as a bedside planner just for like kind of very, very rough notes. And, you know, something that I use when I don't have any of my other planners by me. And I'll use my weeks as a stickerated personal planner, which is quite different, and that's how I'll get around it, and I think that will be fine. Then I was finishing off my EC memory keeper, and at the beginning, you know, where it has that spread for like inspiration or monthly goals or birthdays or whatever, I decided to use it for monthly highlights, like looking back over the year, because it was a memory keeper. So I wrote down the highlight or the most memorable thing that stood out for each month and just wrote one thing in, and so I was brainstorming that here. And then I just had a little bit of journaling about my thoughts about finishing the EC memory keeper. Planners I'm excited about starting. A tally of all of my happy planners, because believe it or not, I've ended up with an extensive number of happy planners over the years, and so I was looking at them on the shelf and I was thinking, goodness, I have so many happy planners. They're not all like dated planners. Some of them are just notebooks made out of inserts that I've put together and put happy planner discs on. But I made a note of all of the happy planners that I currently have and what's in them and which ones I should recycle the inserts from and which ones I think I might be able to save and use and all kinds of stuff like that. So again, this is really just for fun, and I really, really enjoy it. Do I need my Stalogy, which I've been using as a daily planner, but I kind of fell off the wagon with that. And whether to keep the 2020 hardbound happy planner, which I used as my J-hub, recording jobs for James to do, and I couldn't decide whether or not it was like worthy of making the cut, and in the end I decided not to keep it, because I have somewhat limited space for archiving planners and I just want to keep the creme de la creme. So then I had a list for possibilities for notebooks to use as a daily planner, because that's one of the nice things about having a daily planner is that it doesn't need dates. It's just a list of to-dos for the day, and so I can rotate, and that's a way of using some of my different notebooks. And then this was a pen test that I did at the very beginning when I first bought this planner, so I left that blank. And then we have some more stickers and some more vellum and some more jelly, obviously, and a Leuchtturm pen loop, which I put on and I kind of regret, because actually it would be sort of nice to just have this be completely, you know, flush, no pen loop, but I did use it without a cover at several different times over the year and I really enjoyed using it like that, so it was quite practical and it doesn't bother me that much. So that is my 2020 planner. And like I said, I absolutely loved it, and it works so well that I have switched over to a new one of exactly the same but in a different color, and I am well underway using that for 2021. So I will do a flip through of that at some point when it has a lot more in it. I hope you enjoyed this. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back again soon. Bye!